What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Aaron Donald. A lot of people consider him the best defensive player of this era. Well, he has a restructured contract. The contract will pay him 3 years, $95 million, which will make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL. Now, you know, when they do those top 100 players in the NFL, he's finished number one numerous times, at least 2 times or more. I know of at the very least 2 times. And this guy is widely considered the most dominant defensive player of this era. But I'm here to bring in another player that should be under consideration for the most dominant player of this era, and that is J.J. Watt. Now, when you look at the stats of Aaron Donald, he's been better for a longer period of time than J.J. Watt, but at their best, J.J. Watt was more dominant, in my opinion. J.J. Watt had 2 20.5 sack seasons. Aaron Donald had 1. J.J. Watt also had another season where he had 17.5 sacks. Aaron Donald's second best sack season was 13.5. Injuries plagued J.J. Watt's career, and he has not been that same dominant player that he was early on in his career. As J.J. Watt had a strong case for one of those years he won Defensive Player of the Year, that he should have been the NFL's MVP. The year Aaron Rodgers won it, remember that year? A lot of people thought that J.J. Watt should have not only won the defensive MVP, but he should have won the NFL MVP. He did not get that award, but that's how dominant he was. Now, Aaron Donald, he finished number 2 behind Aaron Rodgers that year. Now, I don't believe Aaron Donald ever finished in the top 2 of the NFL MVP. Now, both guys have won the MVP award at the very least 3 times. I think Aaron Donald might even won it more than 3 times. He might be on his 4th time, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he has won more NFL defensive MVPs than J.J. Watt. But I'm just saying, he's done it for a longer period of time. He's been more consistent. He's been more healthy. You know, he's had a lot of 12.5 seasons. He's had a lot of 11.5 sack seasons. You know, he's been very, very consistent. 12.5, 12.5, 13.5. He had that one outlaw year where he had 20.5 seasons, but he never had, outside of the 20.5 season, more than 13.5 sacks. But he did it for consecutive years as he stayed healthy. He had that one year where he got hurt in the playoff game versus the Seattle Seahawks, and it affected him in the second round of the playoffs when they played the Green Bay Packers. He was not himself, and they ended up losing that game. You saw him crying on the sideline, and I think he was crying not only because that season had ended, but because he wasn't able to perform in the biggest game of the season like he wanted to due to injury. With all that being said, I got to go with Aaron Donald. I just think that attendance is such a key in the NFL. You got to be there. When you miss a lot of time and stuff like that, you basically had 3 or 4 years where you were dominant, and that's the case for J.J. Watt, and you've had 8 straight years of dominance by Aaron Donald. You got to give the edge to Aaron Donald. But I will say this, at their best, at their peak, I believe J.J. Watt was more dominant. But if I had to put a vote in on the most dominant NFL defensive player of this era, I would have to vote for Aaron Donald. Make no mistake about it. Let me know your thoughts on who you think is the most dominant defensive NFL player of this era. You think it's Aaron Donald, or do you think it's J.J. Watt? Let me know your thoughts. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard.Briscoe.3551. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.